Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Quick video today to show you a mishmash of products that I have bought in the last week really. They all arrived on Friday. I've actually been away this weekend, but I have been looking at them, using some of them. So I've got a few first impressions for you, and I thought I'd quickly just do this before I start getting back to work again. So first and foremost, most of this mini haul was occasioned by seeing the latest Meteorites, which are the carousel pearls from Guerlain, on the Selfridges website the other week. I think they're sold out already because I just looked now and I couldn't see them, but doubtless they'll be back in stock soon. I put my order in and coughed up for the postage because I didn't have time to go round in store. I don't know why I keep buying these meteorites. I do love them, but honestly, I never really use them up. I only use them occasionally, but they're such pretty things to have as part of your collection. This is one of the tin editions. Now, this is the first time I've compared. I thought the tin was smaller than the old tin, but it's not. It's exactly the same size. You remember me complaining that the volume had gone down in the Christmas edition. That's not to say the volume hasn't gone down. Let's have a look. Yeah, the volume's still gone down because this is 2012 Pearl du Dragon, and that was 30 grams, and this is obviously 2016 Pearl Carousel, and it's 25 grams, so yeah, fairly hefty decrease, but at least the tins are actually the same size, I suppose. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, really. It's kind of conning us even more, isn't it? And they're not cheap, but very pretty tin, pinks and pastels. I rather gasped when I opened it on Friday night and took out a little puff. Have to say, not a very pretty puff. Again, let's compare that with... Oh, there wasn't a pretty one on that one either. I'm thinking of the one from the year before last that had a little bow on it and was really pretty. This is just a plain white one. But look how stained it was, because this has really, really bright pinks in there. And I thought, goodness, this is going to be... And look, they're a bit crumbly as well, I have to say. They've been bashed about in my suitcase. I thought I'm going to have to use this as a blush. Now, in fact, when I used one of my fine powder blushes over the weekend, although it looks pink on the brush, by powdering carefully, it's not really too pink for me to wear as an all-over face powder, finishing powder, and it isn't pink enough really to wear as a blush. And bear in mind, I'm very pale skinned. I haven't got my brush out to actually show you. I'll probably do that in a roundup at the end of the month. But it's a funny kind of in-between. I think it will be too pink for some people, and I'm kind of dubious about using it as a finisher. It's certainly, you know, not as nice a finish as the old Pearl de Dragon, for example. But it isn't, thankfully, as glittery as the Snowball one at Christmas was. Much as I love the packaging on that, the finish wasn't great. So it's a slightly odd one. I haven't quite made my mind up about that. As I say, I've only used it twice, so who knows. And then I also got one of the newly packaged nail varnishes. Like I need any more nail varnish from a different line to Chanel, but I was sucked in slightly by the very pretty packaging, but more because on the website it claimed that this nail polish was fragranced with a delicate blend of, I think it's bergamot, rose and something else. And I thought, my goodness, how do they manage that? So I ordered this slightly shimmery pink. I haven't worn it yet, so I can't tell you what it looks like on the nails. But what I can tell you is that when you open it, I promise you I did open it. I can't easily get it open now. Have a little sniff. It smells exactly like any other nail polish, i.e. kind of synthetic pearl drops. Nothing like bergamot or rose. Complete swizz. So I don't know what that's about. Has anyone else bought any of these? And can anyone else smell these delicate floral fruity fragrances they claim on the website? Because I sure as hell can't. Anyway, let's have a look what it looks like on. As I say, I haven't had a chance to wear it yet. And I also bought from the Selfridges website 2 products from a new range, or new to me, called Too Cool for School, which I think they're Korean, although they seem to be a New York firm. I know the two aren't mutually exclusive, and I haven't actually looked where they're manufactured. There's certainly some Korean writing on. Anyway, let's assume they are Korean for the moment. I need to do my research a little bit more. They seem to be registered London and New York, which is a bit odd. The 2 products that I bought, they're all quite unusually packaged. This one does appear to be Korean. This is called Pink Girl Jelly Base, which I thought was going to be a sort of primer, and that's how I've used it. It's a very kind of pretty pearlized peachiness on the skin, which offers a bit of a sheen. You can barely see there. Quite nice, but I suppose I'm comparing everything with my Tom Ford primer at the moment. And what I would say about this is, first of all, I needed several pumps to cover my face, whereas with the Tom Ford, literally 1 pump covers really, really well. And what was really noticeable was that after covering and allowing it to settle in to my skin, it didn't reduce the amount of foundation that I needed. I was still slapping on exactly the same amount. In other words, it didn't seem to me to make my makeup go on any easier. And I'm kind of on the fence at the moment whether it preserved the life of my foundation, partly because I just used it yesterday for the first time, and I was redoing my face anyway in the evening, having been out on the day, so it wasn't really a totally fair test. My makeup seemed to have held up pretty well by late afternoon when I reapplied, so it did basic primer duty, I think, but jury's slightly out. I do like the packaging though, and I can't remember how much I paid for this, but it wasn't outrageous, so quite a nice one to try, particularly if you're pale skinned. Now look at this unusual packaging. It's meant to be the Flatiron building in New York, I think. If you do it that way. Slightly odd. I don't really understand the point of that. It's called Dinoplatz Shadow on Flatiron. It comes in a little tube, and I bought one which looked to be lilac or violet on the website, and that's how it's marked. It's actually just kind of colourless glitter when you apply it. I don't know if you can see that, but very, very fine glitter. There's literally no texture of glitter in it. Very limited fallout. It does stay like that, but there's no colour at all. So it just gives this slightly glittery haze, which, well, I didn't think was very flattering for me with my eyelid creases. I could see how it could look really pretty on a young eye, and particularly, I have to say, a mono Asian eye, where you're not kind of battling with the creases at all. Having said that, a couple of people did say how nice my eye makeup looked. So again, jury's slightly out on this, but definitely don't buy this if you think you're actually going to get any colour. There are 2 other colours on the website, I think a kind of taupe and a gold. I don't know if they're any more pigmented. I'll have to wait till I go into Selfridges to have a look. But having now done a bit more research online, I should have done that before I bought, it sounds like none of these are pigmented, and it's just this kind of sheen with varying degrees of glitter that you get. So I did use it as a base for eyeshadow yesterday, and it didn't stop my eyeshadow from creasing, I have to say. So not up there with the old formulation of Tom Ford eye creams or Chanel Illusion d'Ombre or even the Burberry cream eyeshadows, but it's not very expensive either. So, you know, a slightly gimmicky, quite pretty. I'm not going to chuck it yet, give it a few more goes. And now I'm just going to briefly mention the new formulations of the Chanel nail varnish. They're not released in the UK yet. I understand they're due for release on the 22nd of this month, so another couple of weeks to go. But Jane on British Beauty Blogger tipped people the wink last week, early last week, that feelunique.com had a consignment of them and was selling them. They've taken them off the website now, I suspect, because there was an embargo. But thankfully I got an order in. Thankfully, I mean, I said I wasn't going to buy these at all, but you get sucked into getting things early, and I selected 3 and they came. Now I'm wearing monochrome, which, as you can see, is already chipped after a day. Now I will say, in fairness, because they came on Friday, I was away, I didn't have any base coat with me and I didn't have any top coats. That's just 2 coats of monochrome without the base or any base or top, and applied by myself. But they're not wearing at the moment any better than standard Chanel. I will be able to comment definitively when I say standard Chanel, the old formulation, comment definitively when I've applied them properly or had my manicurist do it. Monochrome, I would say, is the equivalent of Frenzy. I haven't done a direct comparison, but you can see very, very like the old Frenzy. I also got Gitane. There are a lot of reds, and I went for a classic kind of tomatoey red cream. There's no shimmer in that one. Haven't tried that yet. Will report back in due course. And I also went for Mythique, classic kind of deep plum cream. Again, none of the traditional shimmers or duochromes, which we so love in Chanel. So while the bottle isn't as ugly as I thought it was going to be, I mean, it's a bit odd not having the name or number on the front, and, you know, I do think kind of fakey. That's not really my real beef. It's the kind of slight boringness of the shades, but it's early days yet, I suppose. They haven't released a full line of them, and I've just got those 3. I'll report back in more detail in due course, but that's my update for the moment, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye for now.